Welcome to the Good Sports Cypher, brought to you by Gas Sports Network. I'm your host with the most. You already know what time it is. It's Scruff Lion, or if you follow me on the website, Nick Valsalin. I'm here at the Lion's Den, and I'm ready to dive in some of the hottest topics in the sports world right now. Now, before I dive into my topics for tonight, I want to talk to you a little bit about me, talk to you a little bit about us, talk to you a little bit about what we're all about. People have been asking me lately, Scruff Lion, where does that name come from? What's it all about? Now, if you check us out on GoodAssSports.com, you already see our website, our articles, all the stuff that's on there. Now, if you follow me on there, my name's Nick Valsalin. You'll see me on the website. I write a lot of content on there, a lot of good stuff out there. But a lot of people know me as Scruff Lion. That's my on-air personality. It's kind of like a reincarnation, kind of like Snoop Lion, kind of like Lucius Lion. It's just one of those. You know what I mean? That's my personality, fierce, to the point. And that's why the Sports Cypher is born. You know what I mean? Because the Sports Cypher is all about sharing your views, talking with a whole bunch of different people, just like we do in the everyday world, man. Something that we all have in common is the sports world. I want to talk a little bit about something a little bit different today. I want to just talk about how we can use sports to better our society. Now, in today's society, there's a lot of divisiveness, more divisiveness now than there has ever been. As you can see now with the NFL world, we've got a lot of split society when it comes to their opinions on one thing for certain is the national anthem protest. A lot of folks feel disrespected by it, but a lot of folks were disrespected in the first place, and that's how the anthem protest began. I feel like a lot of people have kind of lost the message, and there's a lot of oppositions on both sides. Now, the biggest thing is, and, you know, I'm not afraid to be that person to have these kind of conversations. My thing is, in order for us to get past what we're going through right now, we have to be able to have these conversations. We have to be able to talk about these kind of things. You know what I mean? And this week, big headline across the sports world, Reid, most notably known recently as being the second person to take a knee in this big national anthem, civil rights, police brutality conversation that stemmed with Colin Kaepernick being the first. Reid, teammate of Colin Kaepernick, he also took a knee. He was one of the first to do so. And he also, just like Colin Kaepernick, was blackballed from the NFL for the majority of this offseason. Now, up until week 4 now, he was unsigned. Carolina Panthers made a big move when they decided to sign Reid. It was a good move, and it was the right move. Now, I'm glad to see Reid back on a team. This guy is a all-pro caliber kind of player, and it's definitely good to see him finally back on the football field. What I liked even more about Reid, and that's really where this whole sound-off starts, I like the fact that Reid, when he came to the Panthers and he had the opportunity in the press conference, he didn't shut his mouth. And I respect that to the fullest because he came out there, he still said what he wanted to say, tell people, hey, pay attention to the message. I still represent what I'm representing out here. I'm going to use my platform to continue to do so. Now, he could have backed down, but he didn't. Now, I'd like to give a special shout-out to Reid for that this week, for continuing to stand by the platform that he supports and stand by Colin Kaepernick and stand by, this protest across the league. It's unfair that he's getting singled out as well. Unfortunately, they're always going to want someone to blame, and Reid just happens to be one of those people that, they did try to blame. Biggest thing about this whole conversation is I want to bring it back to a place of unity. This is what I want to think about. I want every one of you guys to think about this. Now, we've all played sports at some point in our lives. We've all had sports teams that we've been a part of. One of those things about sports that I love is that when you're out there and you come together on a team, you've all been on different teams with people from different backgrounds. All that BS, all the politics, none of that stuff matters when you're on the field. At the end of the day, you're a teammate. You're all on the same team, right? Now, sports is one of the few things in our communities that no matter where you come from, no matter what background you have, no matter what you look like, you can always take that common ground when it comes to sports. It's something we all love. Now, next time you ever go to a stadium or a basketball game or a bar and you're seeing, watching sports, look around. Look and see all the different kind of people that you'll see. You'll see white people. You'll see black people. You'll see Asian people that love sports, football, basketball. You'll see Hispanics that love sports. You'll see every kind of ethnicity out there. You'll see men. You'll see women. You'll see gays. You'll see straight people. You'll see a little bit of everything because sports is one of those unifying things. It can be if used properly. The problem is lately it's been used as a divisive measure, and we've all become very divided when it comes to sports, especially the NFL now. Now, I want to talk about this because the thing about sports is it should be something to unify us, something that we all have in common. It's just like one universal sign, one universal thing that will always be universal to the entire world is a smile. No matter what language you speak, if you smile at someone, that smile will always be received in a positive way. There's nowhere you're going to go where it's not. Just like if you go out and you see a girl that looks good and you look at somebody that doesn't speak English, you can both look at each other and look back, and we'll know exactly what each other's thinking. There's some things that are bigger than language, bigger than culture, bigger than the racial barriers that we have in between us. And sports is one of those things. Now, I would like for us to stop dividing each other over sports, and let's use sports as a measure to unite us all. Let's bring it together. We all love sports. Let's use it in a positive way. With that being said, I want everyone to know, GoodAssSports, we're doing several things out here to try to unify people through NFL, through NBA, through sports. Right now we're working on helping rebuild a local DC hockey rink. We're selling T-shirts and we are gathering donations. If you're interested in donating to the cause, we are helping to rebuild a local hockey rink that was burned down. They need a lot of funds to help get that rebuilt, and we are in the process of collecting those funds. So far we're doing pretty good, but we need more help. If you're interested in helping us, please check out the website. Go to our About Us section. Shoot an email over to us. There's several ways you can get involved. If you're interested in helping us, please let us know. At the end of the day, we say the name Sports for a Culture, Sports for the Culture, but we are really for the culture, and we're trying to do it in so many ways. So a big thing is right now, a lot of divisiveness in the world. I want us to bring it all together. Let's get back to sports unifying people, folks. That's really what sports is all about, being together, enjoying this, all different walks of life. We can all enjoy this sports thing together. GoodAssSports, we just trying to do it in a positive way. And yeah, man, there's a choice that we all have to make here. We can choose to move on from this situation and do the best we can to continue on and put the best path forward. So, the past is behind us. We can control the future. I'm very proud of Eric Reid and the Carolina Panthers for continue to stay afloat, and I've been seeing a lot of people talking about what's going on. And I also want to talk a little bit, pivoting over to another movement that's going on to an extent, and this involves Leveon Bell. I know I've been talking a lot about Leveon Bell lately on the show, but I have to talk about him a little bit more because Leveon Bell, although he hasn't played, he has found himself in the news for two reasons. One, right after Earl Thomas got hurt, pulled off the field, we all saw him put the middle finger up towards the Seattle sideline. Unfortunate situation, but we all know Earl Thomas was trying to get traded, playing for a Seattle team that, definitely depleted in terms of the defense. That Legion of Boom team, not really what it used to be. He's one of the few remaining members of that original Legion of Boom, and he was looking to move on and play for a team where he can potentially make a playoff run and do a little bit something with the remainder of his career, cash in on another contract. Unfortunately, that injury, from what I'm hearing, it's not going to be good. Could be out for an extended amount of time. That injury is exactly the reason why guys like Leveon Bell in particular are holding out. Now, this comes right before some more news from Leveon Bell, where Leveon Bell has now stated that he will be returning to the Pittsburgh Steelers Week 7. Week 7. Why Week 7? I mean, we're only at Week 4 right now. Why not just come back now, right? But it seems like Le'Veon Bell made a pretty precise measurement in his plan of how he's going to go ahead and tackle this holdout situation. Week 7, Steelers bye week, gives him an opportunity to ease himself back into the swing of things. He says he's in great football shape. He's ready to go. Week 7 will give him 1 week to work with the team before going back out there Week 8, which they'll be playing against the Cleveland Browns. Now, Le'Veon Bell did comment, I believe this was a post on Instagram, he was saying, right underneath the injury of Earl Thomas is exactly what they're protesting for. Yes, he looks like the bad guy to the general public. Us as fans, sometimes we're very short-sighted when we see these things. We see Le'Veon Bell sitting on the bench of our fantasy football team, and we look and we see that he's not playing, and we're like, oh, let's just get him out there. You know, he seems to be the bad guy when these type of things are happening. But it's not fair that we do that. It's not fair at all. Because think about everything that they put on the line. Think about how these players put their body on the line every single day. Think about all the NFL players that, especially what we found out now about CTE and recent developments and what's going on with their brains and the longevity of their careers. They put so much on the line every single day. And, yes, they make a lot of money. A lot of people know that they make a lot of money, yes. And there are people upset that they make that much money. But the thing is, they put their body out on the line for our personal entertainment, and I think they deserve to be paid accordingly. Now, a guy like Le'Veon Bell, a guy like really any running back in the NFL right now, they take the most punishment on any position out there. And especially a guy like Le'Veon Bell, not only does he carry the ball a lot, but he also catches the ball a lot. So he's getting double the contact when it comes to running the ball, plus receiving the ball to the backfield where, you know, he's had over 75 receptions the last few seasons in a row. Now, what I think he is doing is very smart. Yes, he's holding out. Yes, he's losing money along the way. But, yes, he is proving a point. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the bottom of the league in terms of rushing statistics. Since the Week 1, you know, where they did have a pretty good game, across the board, they've been at the bottom of the league without Le'Veon Bell. And it's clear to see that he's showing his worth. They're not doing well. They're not in the mix right now for a playoff spot. But if Le'Veon Bell can come back Week 8 and turn this team around and get them in the mix for a playoff spot, then I think he's worth that money. I already think he's worth the money, but he's proven that he's worth the money. And on top of that, he made a very, very smart play. Now, playing a full 16-game season, that'll take a toll on his body. But playing a 8-game season is going to be much fresher. He's going to be exposed to much less injury risk. Now, God forbid, injuries can happen at any moment in time during the game. But when it comes to Le'Veon Bell, the beautiful thing is he is shortening that length of exposure, setting himself up pretty nicely for a long-term contract. Now, it seems like he's turned the page after being completely against coming over back to the Steelers. Looks like he's ready to join the team again soon. He said he's looking forward to, you know, working out a long-term deal with the Steelers. He does want to stay there long-term. Complete turnaround from what we were expecting, where it was just seeming like he was just completely anti-Steelers. But it's going to be good to get Le'Veon Bell back out there, and we'll see. This is your opportunity, Le'Veon. This is the opportunity for you to go out there and show your worth. And I think he's going to do it, and I think he's going to do it in a big-time way. Now, anybody that's a fantasy football owner of Le'Veon Bell, I am urging you, if you still have him, hold on to him, because I'm expecting him to make a statement. He's already made a statement. The Steelers look pretty bad without him. They need him. Now, with him stepping back in the fold, I expect him to not only play well, but I expect him to play out of this world. So I repeat, if you are a Le'Veon Bell fantasy owner, you better make sure you get him ready for that lineup spot Week 8. Do not trade him, no matter how hard it may seem and how long it may seem that Week 8 is from now. Hang in there. I promise you. He's going to give you something special. Le'Veon Bell, if you are listening, shout out to you for going out there and making a statement. Shout out for you for going out there, stepping out, and proving your worth. shout out for you for giving the opportunity to make change within the system that is kind of broken in terms of contracts, particularly in the running back situation. You are worth the money, my friend, and I will continue to support you. If you end up on the Steelers, you end up somewhere else. Now, I would love for you to be on my Eagles, but, that's a pipe dream and a ways away. Nonetheless, I'm very happy to hear Le'Veon Bell will be back on the field playing football as he should be. One of the most gifted running backs in the NFL that I've seen in my lifetime, one of the most dynamic, dual-threat, all-purpose running backs. He can catch the ball, receive the ball. He does it all. His patience, elusiveness, and ball carrier vision, unmatched, unlike anything else. He's the best in his position. Todd Gurley, you got to throw him up there too, but Le'Veon Bell's been doing it for longer. I am happy to see him back, and I would love to see him stay with the Steelers or wherever he goes. Somebody, pay that man. Pay that man. He deserves it. The amount of work he's putting in, the amount of time that he takes in his game, and he is a cut above the rest. So shout out to you, Le'Veon Bell. Continue to fight that fight. I hope you get that contract, my man. And that when you do come back, I need about 6 weeks of production in NFL fantasy football to catch me up. I'm 0-4 in one of my leagues. I'm going to need a bounce back from you, brother. I've been supporting you this whole time. Fight the good fight, my man. And that's pretty much it, man. It's another struggle. We talk about this, we talk about that when it comes to the protests, and we talk about these athletes feeling entitled and people that say that they shouldn't be out there protesting. And, Le'Veon Bell, what he's doing is a protest in its own right. But let's pay these guys what they're worth, man. Let's give them what they're due. These guys put their lives on the line, and Lord knows what they have to deal with after the life of football is over. So, with that being said, let's continue to support Le'Veon Bell, and I'm very happy to see him back. Don't have much else. It's going to be a short one for today. But, again, thanks for listening, guys, to us today. Be sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That is GoodAssSports Network. Also, if you have Instagram, Twitter, follow us at GoodAssSports. And be sure to stay tuned to our website, GoodAssSports.com, providing all the latest in the NFL, NBA, and boxing. We got some exclusives coming your way, and we got some more podcasts on the way. Stay tuned. If you don't know, now you know. We are Sports for the Culture.